Hello, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and I have some more things to show you. First, I wanted to show you, in the last session, we were working with this and it had red all the way around it. And I want to show you how different it looks now. Isn't that gorgeous? I took off the red and I don't know, maybe some of you might have wanted to choose that red, but I think this is gorgeous. Here's the other one that has a little tear in it. And these I did show you in I think the second video how to use these as petals, leaves, things like that. I gave you several ideas on that. So there's a cute pair. And then I want to show you the next thing, and that's this. This is another doily that I found in my stuff, and I think it's one that my sisters gave me, or I got from my sister-in-law or brother-in-law. And you can see it's got large rips in it. And I want to show you basically what I did with something like this. I had actually, it came with another piece, and it was in the same condition as that one, but worse. The center, it was a little bit longer. It was like they must have really used them in the kitchen, and then they got burned, and then something like plastic or something melted on top of them. So let me show you the edge. I'm saying I think it was like some type of a plastic. It's really hard. And so I left a piece on there just so you could see it. But this is what I changed. This from this, I made it look like this. I dyed it and I turned it into a lace. So now I have this beautiful long piece of lace, and here this was the edges of it, as you can see. So we can use these edges, trim it up, but look at the pretty colors it became. I gave it some purple along with the pink, and then this I just dyed with like a tea dye type thing. And it's just gorgeous, and it's actually quite long. I think it's 2 yards actually. Yeah, it's pretty much about 2 yards. And I'm going to show you with this one the way I actually took it apart. So this of course, because it's already torn here, this is where you can start. And I want to keep this square doily, so I'm just going to cut right here all the way around. And then you can remove this flower if you want, but when you tea dye this will tone this color down a little bit, and even the green down a little bit, because this feels like it's cotton. So you can see how the lace is, so you can actually use this as lace, just like that. Then the next one I wanted to show you was this one. I told you before in one of the other sessions that I was going to show you how to take apart a doily like this, or how to use it. This one here, as you can tell that it was a very Christmassy doily like that other red one. So we're going to do the same thing we did, and I don't want this red on it. This is going to be my doily. It's not one that I'm selling, and I don't want that red on it. So I'm going to cut it again like I showed you to do the other. And I'm going to see if I could find the end of the to try and get it to, oh, there it goes. It's going that way. Look how thin that thread is. Okay, so you can unravel it, or you can go this kind. There's some that you can't do this to, but you can just go and trim right here and just trim off make sure you're only cutting the red and you're not cutting the other doily. So there's more than one way to get things done. So I want you to go, I'm going to go all the way around and remove this and I will be back. I was able to remove all of that border, and I ended up, because of this, how difficult it was to remove it, I had to constantly keep on starting over. I went ahead and just removed it with scissors, and then I went around the edges and made sure I just removed any red ones. Sometimes I actually had to cut this part right here, this little circle, which is not a big deal. But this is how pretty it came out. I decided I'm going to act like I'm going to use this as lace. And as you can see, you have the edges here, and then you have this doily here in the center, this small red one, and I don't think the red one's a big deal. I don't really like it much. I don't like the way that looks. If you can see that, it's got that silver stuff from the yarn that they used, but I think this is just gorgeous, and it'll make a gorgeous lace. So I actually will look around, and I don't see any tears or rips in it, other than here on the edges where I opened it up. And but I did want, before I think I had already previously ironed this one, but the doilies that are like this, sometimes they're really all wrinkled up in this area. And this one's a little more wrinkled, or this one right here. You can see what it looks like right now. See how it looks? You can moisten it and reshape it. This is an option for you. Just so you know that these doilies are made in such a fashion that they are made to be starched, and they probably were hard when they were actually used, hardened with either sugar or starch. But you can see that that is a beautiful doily right there. And you can do that to all the sides, so compare that to this. So whichever way you like it, you can decide that later. But I did want to show that to you, because you can, just like you manipulate a flower, or when you make something like make a bow, you kind of move it around so that it has shape to it. That's what you do with this. And this, if we just cut this all out here, we can actually use it as a frame if you want. So we'll do that first, that way you can see both effects. And I can tell you what I'm thinking when I'm doing this. What I'm thinking is I really do want to use it like a lace. So I actually think I'm going to cut with one layer here of this. I want to preserve the ruffle parts. So I decided I'm going to cut on this first layer there. See that? Oh, it looks like it came apart right there, look. So maybe I'm going to go one more down. Going one more down. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the doily off. So this doily, it's easier for me to cut it because I saw what I went through. I made a big change, and I'm salvaging something that previously did not look very attractive, was not very attractive. I could see the beautiful workmanship in it, but it didn't look attractive to me in the way I admire doilies. It was all white and red, and okay, so now you can see how beautiful this looked and how gorgeous this would be as a frame, and how you could just work around that gorgeousness with some trims in the center and glue this all down. Let me see, where are my pieces? Let me see if I could find them. Alright, I couldn't find my other images I used last time. I'm sure they're around, and I'll bring them back in when I have them, because I like the, but this is another image I actually carry in my shop. And I have about 3 or 4 on this size, and I have a couple that are a lot larger. I don't know how much I'm charging for them, but you can see that if you place an image here, how gorgeous that would be. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, of course, you for this one, if I was going to use this on this one, what I would do is I would cut my image into a circle a little larger than this, and then just use that part of the frame. And then because that way you can basically see the beauty of this. And then I'd be careful what you're using in your background. It needs to be uniform. So yes, you'd have to, like I said, cut it out. But you can also cut it into an oval and just shape it this way. You see how you can change the shape of that, how easily. So that is just a beautiful frame. And see how I left this? The reason why I left it is because helps it to keep its shape. If you would cut it here, we're going to actually do that so you can see the difference. Let's see. So here, imagine this at the bottom as a beautiful lace at the bottom, or as I showed you, a border. So you can see there's so much you can do. And sometimes since this was cut here, I'm going to cut down along here, and we are going to make it more into just a lace. Let's show you how pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? To me, it is just beautiful. I'm going to bring it up closer so you can really see the beauty of the colors and how they look. Look how pretty that is. And you see the shape it has. So you can see here hanging how this one actually is more open. So you can go and starch each one of these so that it will stay more open, or you can just, because it falls beautifully, it doesn't really need much there. And I love how this is going up here. That is just gorgeous. And this actually is very attractive also. It looks beautiful. I love the way it looks. And then, you know, so this is how a nice piece of lace. Let me tell you how long this ended up being. And the other ones I have in my shop, they're actually a lot larger than this one. This is small compared to the one of the ones I have in my shop. This is about 16 inches. It's not quite a half yard, but it so just think about it. How much would you pay for that lace? That beautiful vintage lace. How much, you know? But you can get that lace out of a beautiful doily. And actually the colors of this one here actually go very well with it. So you could use this at the bottom, and you can take this one and cut it and give it some different things. It's just gorgeous. Okay, if you have any questions, make sure you comment below and ask away. And here it is doubled up. You can actually double it up this way if you want. Just gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I love this one. So I wanted you to see that because the one I have in my shop would come out the same. You'd have to remove green, and it's actually a very beautiful, but it would be much more beautiful than this one because it's so much larger. This one's still delicate and beautiful. I'm getting ready to go take it out of my shop, so you better go run and order it. Oh gosh, we get attached to our things, right? I actually brought this out because I showed you earlier, and I forgot. I found that piece that belonged to this one that I was showing you before. So I wanted to show you how it actually looked. This was the color that it was before, and you can see the staining here. And you can see this was all ripped as though something had fallen on top of it and melted. And it doesn't, I don't think it's candle. It could be candle, but it's just something, you know, that they used it in their kitchen or they used it someplace. And you can see now how different this looks than that. The coloring. So this part that's lavender here would have been this color here, and I changed it to lavender. I like the more muted colors. I do like bright colors, but I like bright dark colors if I do. And in fact, I'm going to do some of that type of dyeing also, where I want it to get really, really dark, but yet this, you know, shades that are like this. So I just wanted to show you that. So something that you would think that you would not now be able to use, I made this whole one there. Okay, what was the other thing I was going to show you? Okay, so I think the next thing I want to do is, I've been showing you a lot about doilies, so I'm going to take the time and show you a flower. Remember this one right here? I want to show you a flower with this. I'm going to take a piece and I want to also show you in preparation for the flower. I'm spraying this with, I've talked to you about this before. All it is fabric softener mixed with water, about 1 part to 4, maybe 1 part fabric softener to 4 parts water, something like that. I don't know. I think I put a 1/2 cup in this 16-ounce something. I don't measure it or anything. I just kind of pour it in, and it's basically making your own fabric. We call it wrinkle releaser. It kind of helps to release all the wrinkles in something. I use it even on my clothing because I'm really bad at ironing, taking out that iron. But I do use my iron. I have been using it on this, like the other lace I had brought out my iron. But so you can see this. Okay, so this is one that we did before, and it was the one that had the black all along the rim. I removed all the black, and I kind of wanted you to see how it looks here and how it looks when you've stretched it. Okay, because I told you can do that. And we'll use this part that we stretched, and then we'll use the part that we haven't stretched to make a flower. So we'll go to each side. I want to make a small one. What this is, I have some wire, and the wire is actually from one of what I made my, what's it called? That cross I showed you in a previous episode. And it had some wired flowers that I added to it. And these are the wires from that. So you can use any type of wire. And this one I'm a good recycler, huh? So I always think of things. So I'm going to use this in a different way, slightly different. I'm going to show you how to make a flower with this. And I'm just going to cut some of this off. Usually I'll take it. So here I have a piece of wire, and I have these types of things you can find in your florist department at Hobby Lobby. They're very inexpensive. I'm actually finishing up one of the flowers, and I will show that to you again because my camera went off when I was showing you. Look how pretty that little flower is. Now, like I said, this one right here is done with, I chose 7 of the little petals, and this one was 6, I think. So there's a little bit, and this one I left it. Is a side that was not stretched, and this one is the one that's stretched. And I actually like it not stretched really, because it looks a little nicer. So a lot of times, just all this ruffly look just adds the character to your flower. So I'm gonna choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more petals. We're gonna make 1 more, and this time I think I'll do it with this without the wire, just so you can see that it's possible if you don't have a wire. And when I put these on, I usually put them different lengths. Here's my piece, little small piece. And let's see, right here. All right, so right here where the green is, I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. Place these about the height that I want them, right there. Maybe higher, huh? And then I'll just roll that. Now you got to be careful. It can burn. And remember, I usually go tight first, and you don't want to go as tight because this does have pearls. These little pearl thingies, stamen, I guess we call them. I put a little bit of glue on the green part. That's why I kept the green, because I found out the last time I did this one that I actually made it too short, and then I didn't have anything to hold on to. And besides, that green is a beautiful green, so Now I'm going to just glue along here because this is usually raw and can come off, you know, unravel if you leave it. Plus you'll probably end up using it in such a way. And now when you do that, you can leave it like that, nice and closed, or you can manipulate your little petals to open them up a little more. So you can do this with any doily, whether it's colored or not. You can make a flower like this, very simply with the ends of your, but look how the edges of the lace. So look how gorgeous that looks though with the colors. And so if you were going to use this, and the truth is that if you make this and you want to bring out the purples, you can, or you can, you know, conceal them more. But I like those colors. Those are gorgeous. And here we'll trim this off. Okay. So now I actually went into detail on how to make one with some centers. And you do the same procedure without the wire as you do with the wires. And this one I remove this because I like the green. Depends on what you're doing. I like to give myself choices with what I'm doing. So there we go. Beautiful bouquet. So here would be a great way for you to make a bouquet and use these as a corsage or something. Okay.